Welcome to another Star Trek Online talk with me, basically talking about the Fek'Ihri Gok'tad Carrier and their budget builds. Yes. Now, before I get into that, I need to quickly cover something. It's a promotion for the barmaid of the Golden Sea. A barmaid learns she can use magic as pirates take her. Well, I got some good news. You can now find there's a sale on it from 25th December 2020 to 29th December 2020. This would be midnight Pacific Standard Time on both those days. This is exclusive to the Amazon Kindle store, and I've got another very nice link called Get Book at Barmaid of Golden Sea, spelt exactly as you see on screen. And yes, more information will be provided below fold and at the end. Okay, we're now on part 3 of the Christmas event for 2020. Now, as I said, starting December the 8th, you'll be able to obtain the T6 event ship. And as always, the ships will usually release in February, July, August, and December. To get early access, or not to take part in the event, you will need to pay a premium currency to obtain a ship during the event. In this case, it's actually 1,000 Lobby. With each day actually completed, you can actually reduce it. Now, quick reminder about Lobby. Lobby is open by opening lockboxes, and each box requires a key that costs about 100 Zen each, or $1. Based on my experience, you get about 4 Lobby per box open. So that's a lot of money. And it actually works out that doing it that way, you actually do get into the 1,000 is really not a brilliant if you're going to spend it. But I have a way around this. Via the Tribble Server. It is actually the main public test server, or the PTR, some circles call it. Now, whilst doing significant tests for the next season's content, a second server called Redshift runs what normally is run on Tribble, which is usually when the next upcoming patch. And characters can't be copied from the main PC game. You can't transfer from consoles to PC, and it means when it's copied, I really do mean copied. There actually are booster item packs available for free on demand at Rosanna. Rosanna is actually a place that both the Klingons and the Federation can get to pretty early on, and actually all factions can actually visit there after a certain point, and it's actually somewhat easier for them than DS9. Anything on Tribble or Redshift will remain on that said server until the Great Deletion. So what does this really mean? It means that due to how character copy works, I can get access to any lobby ship or lockbox ship I want. Various items that take minutes various items take minutes compared to obtain versus the hours that is normally contained compared to on holodeck, or the main game, or holodeck can also mean the console version as well. Holodeck's the name of the PC server, and it's very easy to get all the gear to test with. So let's recover something about. So I need to put some limits in. So we have to talk about the budget. Now I've decided to not allow additional seasonal purchases. Of course, if I'm doing a seesaw ship, I'll of course acknowledge if it's a part of a pack, and I'm just assuming, and we'll do a pack, do stuff about that. Phoenix box and / event items. Now these are used if it's a part of an event, which you can obtain items as well. When items for you might be able to, in this case I'll be able to purchase it for it. Of course, low bestow items you need to it's pretty much pretty expensive. Fleet gear. Now fleet gear is pretty much not allowed purely because it's for a different reason. It's not because it's expensive, it's because, well, you need to get into a fleet that has the access to the gear and has got the ability to let you purchase the gear, plus you've got to get some stuff to get out of the gear as well. And for the most part I'll be avoiding the level 15 and the unlock items. This is more down to the fact that it's very expensive to get hold of, and you need to get hold of certain bridge officers, which is not always easily accessible. So in that case I just had to flat out drop them for the budget build. Now what is really hard? Anything in the drop or craftable item pool is available. Now when I say drop, you've probably seen them before, but that means anything that you can find, it counts. And most of those are actually craftable, so those are also pretty much available for free. Mission or level up rewards. In other words, this stuff's you get it for free, so you can if you want it, we're going to have it. You're going to have it. So duty officer and our admiralty rewards. Now this is more of there isn't that many stuff that I'm aware of that we're going to be using, but we do actually I do have some duty officer rewards to actually pick up. So of course, reputation. Now this is reputational rewards are usually somewhat cheap, because you have everyone including the top end players has to complete this do the reputation if they want to use those gear, and it's actually quite simple really. So I'm going to have to think about that ship. That ship. I need to now think of an idea to add to flight. Now, because I basically built the ship based on how I flew the Carrier back in the day, but using the knowledge from back that I didn't know then and what I do know now. And actually, that's partly because most of the things I used back then no longer work due to the changes of the game since season 12, when I was actually actively flying the Carrier. So I had seesaw consoles, and some of those functions have changed as well. So I can't really use those as well. Use those in that build. And this is just one of a few ways to fly the ship. I'm going to say this is not the only way, but this is a way to fly the ship. So the plan. Science powers mainly grab well at pin in place and do a bit of damage. The weapons and the tactical skills are mostly affecting the forward arc, so there'll be a lot of damage in front of the ship to the target. The graviton deflector that I've picked for the budget build is actually to boost the science powers. It actually has almost 1.5 times the power than the standard deflector, assuming all everything else is equal. I actually put on my science consoles. I've decided to focus on the pull of the gravity well versus over the damage of the gravity well it does. So everything will come in, but may not be able to be damaged hard. I've deliberately chosen Photonic Capacitor 2 to reduce cooldown for everything, and most powers that will hit can hit global cooldown, which means I can't push it down to speed up any faster. So I think we better go in game now. Now, as a quick reminder, this way is the way to the bridge officer teaching station, or officer. Now he'll give you the ability to learn any rank 1 or 2 skills, that means, and well, it does mean that sometimes you will end up with Gravity Well 2 and in the final slot. It does mean that you can come across some decent skills which you may need, and including the command one, which we also will need. Also, because you may not be able to run this all the time, we do have the ability. You do have the ability to teach bridge officers after buying a pad or 2. Various things. I mean, you can even teach yourself the various command qualifications, assuming you've got the command specialization completed, or which you'll be. But in this case, we want to have a concentrate firepower. Yeah, and I can teach it to my bridge officer. But one of the bridge officer abilities I do need to pick up is Gravity Well 3. That's no. And see, that's how you get them. You can also visit the exchange, but because this is the Tribble, there is nothing in the exchange to. But I'm using the whatever stuff I've got floating around. But I've got infinite dilithium and almost no cost. Now I'm going to cover something really important, but this is the bridge station, which you may have seen before. Now, to get the best out of your ship, you need to choose your bridge officers quite well. I've actually got something reasonably decent that I've actually managed to get Corin Fletcher to exactly how I want her today. However, Surveyor, it does not at the moment. I need to give her this ability. Concentrate firepower 3. This is technically a somewhat free power, because, well, we'll say free. It's going to cost 5,000 EC, which is a drop in the park compared to everything else on this list. You can actually earn more doing. Sorry, when I say it's drop in the park, I really do mean that. So, and that itself is not, as I said, picking it up with too much problem. So let's go on. It's a bit of a problem. So we need to give Surveyor the ability to use command abilities. Now, I actually command specialization. Since she's here, you can't do that. But if you were to complete level 62, you get this, the Bridge Officer Specialization Manual. This is the reason why I'm allowing specializations into these builds. is because I can just, you are guaranteed to have one by level 62, 63, and so I can make a command, and hey, there we go. And since that's now possible, I can now give the specialization, and it now got a full load of abilities. Now, sadly, she's got suppression barrage on this ability, but now that I've given her a command specialization, actually, this is the one area we need. I can now give her concentrate firepower, and it costs a bit of expertise, which is the reason why I don't recommend doing these too many times. And get that, and there we go, given a command expertise. Now, whilst Ian has Gravity Well 2 in this slot, we want to give him Gravity Well 3, and getting Gravity Well 3 is the hard part. He just happens to not have the. He just happens to be. You can actually get Gravity Well 3 from various locations, including your police officers that already know it, or you can even a police officer that knows it in this slot, because that's pretty much easy. But I'm also going to be using Photonic Officer 2, which I actually taught him before, but that's why I forgot I did teach him before. But remember the stabilizing resonance abilities from a few episodes ago? We can now teach this to Ian as well. Now, if you've discovered that you've spent it, you can always learn it by by creating the manuals in the officer training tab. So you've got the relevant pads. And Grab 12.3 increases how well it works, and I am building this thing up. And that's pretty much a decent for that. I'm going to give it. I've taught Evelyn and Caroline some abilities before, so you can pick beta 1 from the Bridge Officer Trader. Now, I've got an idea for what this last slot will be. Now, for me, I would pick QSAT less weapon weight, but because it's the budget build, QSAT less weapon weight is off the table due to it being a expensive lockbox trade. So, since we technically are doing the winter event, there's nothing to say you can't, and you will probably earn enough credit here. You can just now go and buy it from this Ferengi from here, because you are doing a pile of events around here. You don't need to worry about a lot of stuff, so you can buy the training manual for Get Better Served Cold. It's more one of those. I picked this one because I can't think of a good ability to fit in that slot that isn't fully available. Well, this one just has to be good because it's relatively cheap. You could be able to earn it within 20 days of running the event. And since I got the event here, that's pretty easy. So I just need to cover why I got it, since you were in the middle of the event, and you can pick up something for that event. But that's sort of the reason why I put it in. So again, it's 0 for me, and select the ability and go back to the stations tab, select the one you want to pick. Why am I not picking? Because most of these abilities will be always on cooldown a lot, so I'm because Photonic Officer basically drops the recharge time down to almost global for most stuff, so I can actually get away with using one of each ability. I mean, Gravwell won't be with it, it's the only one that isn't. Now I've got the bridge officer's layout to where I like it. I now need to get my ship to where I like it. Now, since I'm going to be picking phasers and quantums. Now my first choice is going to be a dual beam bank. Dual beam banks. Now, why are these dual beam banks? Well, because they're basically equivalent to ones that you might have found dropped off find on the exchange. And that's pretty nice. Now, deflector disk. Now that would be is a bit nah. Now I want to pick up a gravimetric deflector. Now this basically punches it up to the, but it really falls into the science abilities. Now I've got two of them. I prefer to grab, and let's get this more into the right ones as you want, but. And I should also point out that quite a lot of people should recommend the fleet deflector, but due to the rules, fleets are a no-go. I'm not changing the input engines, warp engines or shields, because they're basically going to be more or less very similar. Now, I'm going to pull this one up here. Now, there is one other. Now, we're going to be picking up tactical consoles. Now, the best now, I've got a big pile of tactical consoles. Now, I actually picked up more than I didn't realise I had a pile stockpiled of my Mark 12, Mark 15, 15s. But you can easily do it with the Mark 12s. Mark 15 14s. That means they'll do a lot of damage. Now, you may have noticed I've got some consoles down here that you may have not seen, and that is the best tactical slot, but it's a fleet item, so you can't pick that one up. So we'll be picking up these three are going to be from the quantum phase set from a future episode. I'm going to be picking, but because I'm wanting quantum torpedoes, I can pick the quantum torpedo I like. I'll put this. Now put this beamway at the rear. But that's purely because I need to have a more to keep the set bonuses, and because I'm not using this particular build, is going to be it's going to be no reputations. I can't put some of this stuff in. I mean, that is technically a standard beamway, but that isn't standard beamway yet. So that's most of the stuff I've got in my inventory fixed up. Now, again, almost none of these are going to be useful, so I'm going to have to get some more, get the science. And this is where it comes a bit of fun. Now, because I'm using I've got a built. Now, as rules, I've decided to disallow Mark 15 gear because of how expensive they can be and how long to get them. So I'm going to be having to force to pick the. Okay, now I've done a bit of crafting. I've now got the very relevant science consoles. Because I'm deciding to go for a gravity well build, I'm going to be dropping in some abilities to use the. I'm going to use a particle generator. Now this is which is damaged by the science abilities and very nice to have. You can also, and I'm also putting one of 3 different. You can now pick up one of 3 different consoles. Why 3 different consoles? Because this is a legacy issue that Static Online had. These 3 different consoles did different things back in the day, back when they were made, but because all these 3 existed in the game when they decided to change how this systems work. They so both science inertial dampeners, graviton generator, and countermeasure systems all do the same task. I've decided to just show all 3 of them because they basically do the same job. I forgot to put in the phasers in the front, in the back, and I'm not too bothered about those. Now it's basic. For the last slot here, I've got 2 last engineering slots. I'm going to got 2 things. Now, as you can see here, I've got a constructive RCS accelerator, which is very nice to have, but it's also a Mac 50. It's not won't fit our build, but we have. We can have a slot in for damage resistance, which is quite important for you to have. Is a neutronium alloy, or you can pick up a EPS flow regulator to make sure your weapons keep their power as much as you can. I'm gonna pick the EPS because you'll be moving power around a lot. And one thing I forgot here is this being a needs to be a quantum torpedo. Yes, that's right. Now that is more or less it. Now, there's something missing here. Now we've got the ship ready. We've now got the gear on it. Devices my usual go-to is this type of build is a auxiliary battery, a shield battery, and a weapon battery. Auxiliary, so you can make sure your grav wells do the best job they can. The shield battery, so you can keep your shields up as much as you can, and your weapons battery, well, you want to keep your weapons up as much as they can. So let's go and see what that's like in space. And here we are in space now. Ooh, I better do quick move some. Now on PC you can hit F12, and you may have heard a slight tick. And I've rearranged your screen light to however you want. So that's a lot better. Now I've got two new abilities. I've got Fire Charge, and due to owning the three-piece quantum phase set, I can use quantum destabilizing beam. Now, I forgot to mention that quantum stabilizing beam is part of the future-proof arc right here. Now, even not the other Nexus actually has a decent beam away, 360 beam away, which I've chosen not to pick up, more down to the fact that I've got a different bit 360 beam away to fit in that slot. So I've repositioned my bridge officers to take control of that. Now, I personally want a ability to have some powers running on what is known in the business as a spam bar. So I want weapon power, weapon shields, and then the attack pan beta, which reduces the damage resistance and stealth on enemies that we're flying against. I also get torpedo spread free on here, and we get tap team just because to keep the shields up and good. And that, believe it or not, is my actual my ability is what I would pick. Why do I'm leaving the concentrate firepower and bear serve code? Purely because I want to use them on demand, not and save everything else. That's the reason why I'm going to be because I'm going to be using other powers. I need to rearrange this tray, but this tray looks like it's neat. Remember that you if you right click on the bridge officers on the shuttle bay, you'll fire out to your pets, or in this case a lost soul Grethar. Now, well, we need to go show how this really flies. Let's go and visit a familiar place in. Do we want on patrol? Welcome to the place. Well, I said talk about the spam bar earlier, so but I'm actually see the pets attacking me, which is the nice thing about the pets at all. Well, this is where my sense abilities come in. Oops, I forgot to enable. And I can see a nice pull, and these are all heading towards my grav well. And that's good. I want. I actually just like BB on my spam bar. I see ships just fly towards that grav well. I said you pick up these up with easy, and I did pick up the really decent ability. And find another torpedo. And yes, I think that's pretty decent. It's certainly will do keep you alive, get you through your stuff. Now, I think I could actually make that better. We've not actually that much big expenditure. The big problem is, I deliberately didn't pick any this is what I call a zero day playthrough. But since you're going to be forcing to get it in over 20 days, why not see what you can get if you had about a week, had the 40 days to get hold of your reputations. So let's see what if you could get reputations. Welcome to Duzana. Now this is, because this is Tribble Server, we can actually pick up something really nice on it over here, and this is what we call the Tribble Test Console. Now this particular console does not exist on holodeck. I've actually gone and checked multiple times. The Ferengi Phoenix box vendor usually stands in this spot, so that's the reason why. And of course, so yes. So now, what do we do? Now, I actually have multiple suggestions to change. Now, first, well, this graviton deflector's nice and does the job really good. That's what I call a short-term free build one. So I'm going to change it to the temporal deflector. Now this is a Mark 13 with a boost to it, with a upgrade to it. It's pure because I can't get it any lower. But this is just, but for me this be better. And I want to pick a lot of people would recommend the one that prevailing input engines. I am actually going to go for the temporal 4-piece set, and that's right, you've heard that. Due to the fact that it really does throw into the science powers, and you saw how many those enemies go. Now, actually, you cannot pick up in the Discovery reputation the dark matter quantum torpedo, which is half the reason why I picked up I chose the quantum-based torpedo in the first place. I knew we were going to be picking up another torpedo to join this one. So that's really nice. Now, you pick up another. Now, one of the best laser beams in the game. It happens, and that Dynamite torpedo has its partner. That is the laser wide angle dual heavy beam bank from the Discovery reputation as well. That's pretty nice, but there's always one final thing. You can pick up the local custom fire controls to make your ship fly to do better, because I've been told that this is the best in slots for tactical consoles. And I get to give you an idea. You get better crit chance. You get better weapon system power, which is very nice for anyone to have. And you get you get better shield penetration just from equipping this console. They're basically you turn your weapons, despite losing the up to 37% power, you gain it well back with the custom fire controls by turning your enemy shields into paper and boost the way so you can get more damage. And that's not including the 3C bonus. You get additional crit damage on a crit, so very nice. So if you crit more often, you do want to build your ship to be a bit more crit heavy. But that's just the beginning. Is a nice ability skill. I'll cover. It's not really to cover here, but that's pretty nice. And I forgot to mention I get a new skin because I quit the temporal shields. Now that's all pretty all that's good, but if you notice that these three beams at the back did very little. Now I would actually go and find a I'll actually go and change these around, and I'm going to go and swap this fire charge. I may not keep the fire charge, but swap one of these consoles to the Dominion Ordnance Accelerator for the gamma reputation. Now I actually forgot to get the other half of this set, so I'll quickly get that now. Well, there's three things we can do. We can if you want to upgrade your beams skills to 15, you can pick up a omni beam directional beam array, and yes, or you can spend a part of EC, which from the exchange, which there are very few. There were quite a handful of these on the exchange, but they're quite expensive. And of course, you can always pick up this advanced inhibiting omnidirectional beam array from the Dominion reputation, which pairs nicely with with the Ordnance Accelerator. And you can get, and of course, and here's one reason why I picked up this one. You get increased phase and flight time rate, which is very important for this type of ship because this ship turns a bit slow, so you get the bonus of that. Now from what you see here is pretty much what I call a decent build for that you can do with this really decent weapon build. Now I'm going to be swapping out some other things, so I'm going to swap out this one of my countermeasure system for the exotic particle field generator. Now this again is another level 15 rank 15 craft R&D system. So this is actually a reasonably decent thing to do, and increases your weapon damage, and well, when you're healing yourself, you get increased weapon power, which for our needs is perfect. And I'm tempted to swap this by charge console with the EPS conductive RCS. This is not one of the ones I'd actually consider keeping, because it's not one I'm picking up using for this build. But there are additional options you can choose. Now, why have I got this beam still here on the back and still using the standard phaser beam at the front? That's because I just haven't worked out what I could stick at the front. Because I could technically put a dozen things in the front, replace to the front, or I could put a board cutting beam at the back and move this beam at the front. But I should point out that this is getting to the point where we're getting into stuff, and that cutting beam is actually from the Omega Reputation and is pretty much an easy thing to grab. So that's most of the good stuff I would recommend for this build, except for one thing I need to cover. Now, some people will go, what? Really? What do you need to cover? Now, I forgot to mention I had Beckett Mariner, and Brad Balmer from our pair of from the low decks crew joining us. These two aren't going to be useful here, so I brought on not one, not two, but three projectile weapon officers. Now this has a chance to reduce your weapon torpedo by 5 seconds for every 5 seconds. Every time you fire a torpedo, you get 20% chance to improve the recharge time by 5 seconds, which means you can almost fire it again. And since I'm basically firing 2 torpedoes, once one fires, the other one's going to begin firing a lot quicker. And and because I've also got some abilities that trigger additional torpedo firings. Yes, you can get the idea. You get more torpedoes. Now, where do you get these? Well, actually, I picked these. I had these 3 floating around. Because it's Tribble, I didn't actually go and pick up Law, who incidentally is a free purple duty officer. So Unak or Ulias Sung are standing in for Law, but I would have replaced. But these 3 are basically standard torpedo bridge officers, so very nice. So these use torpedoes. Other bridge officers I can stick in here, but this really does like a reasonably decent build. And welcome back to the Gamma Meridian system again. Same deal again. the big thing here isn't actually damage, it's basically time, and this felt like a lot better. Because I was wearing I've got some better gear, but torpedoes firing faster. The fact everything's sticking in a lot better. You might have seen things flying backwards. Yeah, this. Pretty decent. Although there are ways to basically this is is not one is a decent build for not spending much real money. It will take a good few months to complete, because this advanced inhibiting phaser omnidirectional beam array is the longest piece you're going to need to get. It takes most good part of 60 days to get. So why did I pick custom firepower and best serve cold? Well, as I said, photonic officer often brings the cooldowns to global. Now, there's very little need to double up on the slots, especially when you're up to the same powers, and especially if I had photonic officer running all the time, especially if you saw that video, and I gotta say, over some of the other tactical abilities, well, some of the other tactical abilities I have options to, such as target shields, weapons, or engines or auxiliary effect, basically kill most of the damage. Because this is a decent so for concentration firepower, I deliberately chose to, because it's a decent torpedo ship. I thought, why not add a few extra torpedoes with concentrated firepower? I mean, as for best served cold, it's really a filler. But as an event item, I've deliberately chosen it because it's taking place. Because the ship, the best way to earn the ship is during the winter event with this ship. So I've deliberately made it. So it's a long time. The first time I've made the rule and broke it. So that's purely because because it's available and it's very cheap for players whilst getting a ship. But alternatives, but Chemosite 1, as I showed, is a lockbox item, and I can't equip it for budget builds. Which brings on to what I'm going to be using on next, the Temporal Set. Now this set is built to support the science builds and boost the stats that make science powers work, and I really do mean that. The quantum phase casts this of secondary effects, and actually are boosted by the temporal set, believe it or not, and various other bits and pieces around the ship. I've been chatting with quite a few of the top end DPS players, and they consider that the temporal set is a decent top end some top end science builds. I mean, there is actually one other one that's available to some players and is considered even better, but temporal set's number 2 in that. I would use that. It's actually got a passive boost with the temporal set itself has got a passive boost to the science powers, and then got a reaction boost, which basically affects triggers on one of the abilities I've got on Tactical Team, which is triggering almost all the time. So that is more or less effectively running all the time, and are somewhat okay clicky. However, this can all, and the reason is you can get all this within 30 to 40 days of play, but you need to be playing in a certain area. So, Starship traits. Actually, for the tests, I didn't have any traits slotted. It's mostly a mistake on my end, but I decided not to re-record it because it would accurately reflect how a new player would perform, because they don't have any traits to use. As a free-to-play player, you still have access to about 8 to 9 traits completing its specialization trait, and I can pick up a few, such as the Intel's improved accuracy, and an upcoming episode's reward, the in-house peg, will more or less have a decent starter trait, which I actually will be planning to make a video on it. That's no reason. That's a good reason to subscribe. You'll also be able to see house peg and why I recommend you pick up the rewards from that. Then it is the house peg's probably the first starship trait you want to pick, or be able to pick. So, one final thing. Upgrades. Now, outside of the budget, I can actually suggest please buy Tactical Consoles and the Fleet Research Labs consoles are considered the best slotted. I'm not sure which exact ones off the top of my head, but they are worth it. And there is a list of traits that would work well with this build. But considering I've just penciled on a quick back of the envelope math, I've worked out about there's $120 worth of them, or basically 4 starships, none of them fit in a pack. So not something you may want. That's the reason why I didn't pick a trait for it. So let's see let's move, and that's really more or less it. If I remember, what is it? Yes, again, this episode is sponsored by Backtrack Writers, the barmaid at the Golden Sea. This barmaid learns to use magic as pouch taker, and let's remember there's a sale on between 25th of December to the 29th of December. Of course, midnight on Pacific Standard Time if you really want to get it as first thing on Christmas Day, or want to get it as late as or wait until the latest possible on the 29th. And it's because it's exclusive to the Amazon Kindle store. So, but I've got a special link called Get Book at Barmaids at the Golden Sea, as written as like that, with capital letters on Barmaids of Golden Sea. And this book is also available at any time by the Kindle Unlimited lending service. As I'm the author, yes, I do, and it is my book I'm promoting, I do get paid for every copy sold or read when it's loaned out by the Kindle Unlimited service. And now, that's the end of the episode, believe it or not. But next week we'll be talking about something completely different than pirates. Well, we'll be talking about some stuff you might want to bring home from the Winter Wonderland.